up, YouTube? This segment was originally part 2 of the Android update video I just recorded, but it was such dog shit listening to it over again. I sounded like a fucking idiot just rambling, so I decided to redo it. And I thought it's probably better for YouTube SEO or some shit to separate these topics clearly. So what I was saying in the last video is I could probably get my projects done faster if I don't do random bullshit like reading a manga for 8 fucking hours. But you just get sucked into these things, okay? And so what I stumbled into recently was Witch Hat Atelier. And normally this is not my shit at all, but the art style was really pretty. It was a little girly, and it made me think that this was going to be like a fucking, I mean, look at this beautiful male right here, okay? Like, I was like, this is gonna be a story for fucking, there's gonna, it's gonna be like the girl protagonist, and there's gonna be just a bunch of hot yaoi men, and then I was gonna like nope out of that real quick, but that was not the case. That is not what the story is like at all. It is much more, it is not any kind of smut like that. But let me go into why I spent all this time reading this shit. So first off, like I said, the art is very good. Here's some cover art. Got some clean ass line work and this coloring. Very nice. These little detail lines, pretty cool. So basically I fucking hate Harry Potter. I hate Harry Potter, and I read some of the books. I've watched the movies. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. I don't like Harry Potter, and if you like Harry Potter, that's fine. I'm not gonna bully you too hard. But the reason I say that is because Harry Potter pretty much ruined all fantasy for me, all magic things. And this is obviously a story about magic. And when I first saw it, I was like, wow, the art's really good, but also I don't want to read magic bullshit, is basically what my thoughts were. But I finally just decided to go for it and to see if I could be proven wrong. And I was. And I think this first chapter, these chapters are kind of long. I think this is like a monthly series. What this first chapter does really, I guess, hooked me because, well, let me just explain. Okay, so we're going to get into spoiler territory now. This is light spoilers. Like, you could probably get this much info from reading a Wikipedia plot summary or something. And it might just be enough to convince you to give it a try. So basically, there's this girl. Here she is, Coco. She loves fucking magic. As she explains, magic flows through the world, making life plentiful for us, an indispensable, convenient miracle. And how does it work? I don't know. Only witches know how to use magic. Ordinary folk can only receive the blessing of magic. They can't become witches. So this is the typical setup of like any fucking fantasy world with magic, right? Like, wizards and witches are born. They aren't created. And the normies just have to be normies and work in the fields or some shit like that. And so this girl she's like obsessed with magic because when she was little, she would just witness all the miracles of magic and just be obsessed with. There's like a part they go back to where, let's go scroll to it. Okay. Well, just so you know now, she's like a seamstress with her mom. They just make fucking materials for people, and they get wizard guests every now and then. And she's just all excited about all this shit, but she can't do anything. She's not allowed. She's a fucking normie. She's not a wizard or a witch. Sorry. They don't even use the word wizard in this manga. They only call everyone witches, which is kind of interesting. Like, even this guy is a fucking witch, even though he's a dude. Let's see. Where is that part? I don't know. I fucking lost it. Lost in the plot. What I was trying to say, though, is magic in this world is used for like so many things. It could be even used in simple stuff. Like there's these cobblestone paths, and they've like lined the tiles with magic shit so that when people walk on them, they light up. And that's how this world is kind of flavored. Like there's all sorts of little accessories and things that make life simpler or easier or more convenient for people, based on little magic that these witches have created. So it could be big things like fucking wheelchairs. It's basically a wheelchair, but it has legs instead of wheels to help disabled people move around. Like that's one thing a witch has made. And then another thing is these simple cobblestone light up lights. Okay, these fucking night lights. So I mean, the magic can like has shaped this world in big and small ways, is what I'm trying to say. But so the setup is, yeah, this witch comes, this dude, he comes to town. Coco's like, I want to be a fucking witch, but I can't. I love magic. And she explains that she went to this fucking castle fair when she was a kid, and this spooky ass witch with this spooky mask sold her a magic book. And he says, magic is the miracle that colors the world, which was, you know, I'm on like chapter 40 or some shit, and she's been saying this in the book, in the story, this line, and I couldn't remember where the hell it came from, and it was from this guy. So this is thematically, I'll get to this in a bit when we get to the big spoilers. Anyways, she likes magic. This person sold her this book and told her, hey, if you do, you know, if you can do magic too if you buy this picture book. And her mom's like, this is a scam, you dummy. All right, let's go home. So, you know, she's not able to do anything with it. She grows up and never learns her magic, okay? And then some shit happens here. This guy's like, this witch is like, that's pretty fucking suspicious that he sold you that book, but he keeps it to himself. So we're kind of getting some intrigue about maybe something weird was going on here. This fucking chariot carriage breaks, so our witch here does some fucking magic, and he's like, hey Coco, don't look at my shit. He's like, don't. He's like, I'm gonna repair it, but like, you need to guard the fucking door. Like, don't let anybody in. Nobody peeks when I'm drawing magic. You mustn't let anyone in, no matter what. So magic is kept very secret by the magic wielders in this world. But she gets too curious, so she goes and checks it out. And what she finds is that this guy is just drawing fucking shapes. That's all it is. So he's drawing these shapes with these symbols and these sigils and glyphs and stuff. So and then the pen is like the wand. So she remembers that the guy that sold her the book when she was a kid. Let's go see. I think they'll show it. The book that she got from the dude when she was a kid had a bunch of those patterns, and it got the pen, which he called a wand, which didn't make any sense to her at the time, but now it does. So she goes and fucking starts drawing these shapes in the book, and voila, she's doing fucking magic. She's like, holy shit, it's real. I am now doing magic. But something bad happens. She does a spell. Darkness. Oh man, she's getting fucking snagged. Yeah, so basically she did this spell that was super bad, and it fucking turned her mom into fucking like stone. It like made her whole house turn into, she basically fucked up catastrophically because she was just copy pasting the magic that the spooky guy gave her in the beginning. And this is when it is revealed, and this is what hooked me into the story and made me go, okay, I like this better than Harry Potter or some bullshit. Is that there are no magical people. There's just people who know about magic and know how to do it, which is just those fucking sigils we looked at, those glyphs, those drawings. Here he says, special magic ink, the chosen magic lives. Any who hold them can use magic. We witches absolutely must keep this secret. And he was gonna erase her memory, but he decides not to because she has a lead toward that spooky witch who sold her the thing, and this guy has a troubled past with them. Here he goes. If that book is, as I fear, one of theirs, then if I erase her memory, I'll lose my only lead. So then she's like, please don't erase my memory. I want to fix my mom. And he's like, I could use you to learn more about what I need to know without saying too much. So that's like how the first chapter goes. But then what I really like more about the story, big spoilers now, so if you're convinced and you want to read this shit, turn off the video and go buy it. Go buy the manga somewhere and go read it. But if you don't give a shit and you want to hear more because you love the sound of my voice and you love me explaining Chinese cartoons, then here I go, okay? So what I like more about the story as it develops is there's actually like a very big history to this world. So what we find out is that there's like good sanctioned magic, and then there's like forbidden magic. There's these two types of magic. And the person that sold Coco the book when she was little was someone from the forbidden magic cult, and they're called brim hats. So these are the good ones are called the pointy hats, and the brim hats, the fucking, go look up a clip art of a Halloween witch and she's got the fucking, that's exactly it. Those are the brim hats, and they practice forbidden magic. And what's cool about this story to me is that there's a lot of the conflict that characters face is very much about like the gray zone of between the black and white of forbidden magic and this good sanctioned magic. So like basically people think wizards or witches can do just fucking anything, like healing people and saving people and doing all this shit. But it turns out there's a lot of it is forbidden because people just got wild. Okay. So like, for example, people who study medicine cannot perform magic because it's a conflict of interest, basically. Back in the day, people got real fucking like Dr. Mengele on this shit and were using magic to experiment on people, using them in cruel experiments, and doing things to their bodies that shouldn't be normal. And then there was stuff like people were using magic in warfare, and it was just too easy for the witches to just obliterate anyone who doesn't know magic. And then there's other witches who were like tearing up the environment and making these fucking like oddities in the landscape, like fucking floating mountains and spooky foggy woods that never stop being foggy. I don't know. So basically magic was like getting too out of hand, and people were getting really fucked up about it, and they're like, okay, we need to establish some law. So then like this fucking council came out and was like, okay, we're gonna enforce proper magic, and there is now forbidden magic, which is you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. So like I was saying, the conflicts that come from these characters, including our character here, comes from like, how easy would it be to fix this if we could use forbidden magic, but it's forbidden, and if we use it and we get caught, we'll have our fucking license taken away and we'll have our memory wiped, and everyone will, you'll have to go back to being a normie, basically. So there are big consequences. Not only that, there's like this Star Wars The Force type of thing where like the dark side of the magic is like very tempting sort of thing going on. And so our character here is put into many situations where the temptation of forbidden magic seems very appealing. And not only that, it gets a little more complex because They kind of highlight how like the people that enforce the laws are maybe a little too rigid and a little too callous. Like there are times where they could save people, they could heal a man's broken legs, but they're like, nope, sorry, we can't do it. And they really highlight this, like the struggling, that like these people suffering, and the magic could save them, even if it's forbidden. Like, you know, just a little bit of forbidden magic could save them, but they're like, nope, we're not going to do it. And there's characters that challenge this, but there's also characters who want just fucking evil and chaos, like the brim hat people. So now even bigger spoilers. The question is like, why? What's the deal with Coco? So as it goes on, the fucking brim hat people are like obsessed with her, and they're calling her their savior and stuff. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier that I said I'd bring up. So these brim hats want to put Coco in situations where she's forced to use forbidden magic, and they keep trying to get her to understand, to see it their way, basically. And there's people like the good guys who see her potential and are like trying to protect her from that, and then there's the brim hats who see some potential in her as well. And she does, because it's fucking manga. I mean, she has that potential, of course. So there's many situations she's able to fucking use her brains and her smarts and her ingenuity to do things that are quite revolutionary. So it seems like she could be a valuable asset to either side. Here you go. So the spooky guy said to her, "Magic is the miracle that colors the world." And the reason I was laughing when I read this just now is because later on in the story, she starts saying this line, and I forgot where it came from. And ironically, it comes from the people that are trying to make her use the forbidden arts, the people that are like the villains. But this kind of ties in thematically because like it's like they sparked her interest in magic in the first place, and now like they're back in her life trying to get her to do it their way. But like she's trying to do it this good way instead. Like she doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to use it their way. It's very tempting to use it in the forbidden way. She loves magic, but not for the reasons that they love it. So there's kind of this irony here that they're the ones that inspired her. But it's kind of like they reinforce this theme all the time that she's like, that there are moments where she's getting closer to breaking and wanting to use the forbidden magic. So I think that's pretty interesting, and like they haven't resolved that yet because the series is still running. So that's something that's still like they're playing with this idea and making you think like they're gonna put her in a situation where she's gonna be forced to use it, and she's not entirely against it. Like she's not like a complete stickler. Like she's not 100% aligned with the good guys either. Like that's not to say she does things bad, but rather if it's something like saving her mother or saving a friend, you know, and forbidden magic is the only way, she's the kind of character that might make that sacrifice to do it for them, which everyone else scares the shit out of them. So it makes her unpredictable a little bit. Like you actually do feel like that teetering point. So that builds like a lot of tension through the story whenever you see these guys come back, and they'll meet with her in secret and like give her stuff and then like erase her memory after, and it's all kind of spooky. Oh, the other thing I said in my other video was I think why I like this more, because I don't fucking like magic fantasy stories. I especially don't like fucking European fantasy, like with these fucking hobbit houses and stuff. But I think this author, I could tell that this author put like a lot of personal lessons in this. Like the fact that the wands are fountain pens, and it's all about how well, like the magic is all about how well you draw the sigils and how you draw them and the creativity you use when you draw them. And it seems very much like lessons from a manga author at some points. Not only that, but also like the interactions between like the teachers and the students, and there's witches who live on the outskirts of society, and there's ones who live in society, and they have different perspectives on stuff. Something about reading that stuff is very real and much more personal, and I feel like I could definitely see, like, I don't really know anything about this manga author, but I feel like I could definitely see how their life lessons are injected into this story, and that's what carries it more for me more than anything. Um, and some of the characters were kind of flat at first. She gets some like friends, and when she starts learning magic shit, but they're kind of boring at first. But as it goes on, it gets better. I don't know. I like it. It's fun. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I have to say now. Um, so yeah, check it out or don't check it out. I don't care. Bye.